Hey you guys, it's your friendly neighborhood Doxy Dex, and I'm here with a review for Valdis Story Abyssal City by Endless Fluff Games. Valdis Story Abyssal City is an independent PC game made by a very small development team. As a matter of fact, I think only one dude programmed the game. Mad respect, mad respect. Let's just jump right into this. Valdis Story Abyssal City is a metroidvania style action platformer game. It mixes the best of exploration and the fun of high combo combat, like kind of similar to say Ninja Gaiden or God of War, Devil May Cry, that kind of combat style. Actually feels a lot like a fighting game too at times. So it's hard to explain. It's something you really got to experience for yourself. But if you like these two genres, you should definitely listen to the rest of this review. I want to go through the pros of the game. That's what I like to do. I like to talk about the things that I like about the game first, then I talk about the things I'm not too crazy about. So let's talk about the combat. The combat is friggin' sweet. It's basically, if Devil May Cry came out in the 90s, Valdis Story Abyssal City. That's really the easiest way for you to make it click in your head. The combat is smooth, fast, very well done. Especially swordplay. There's multiple weapons in the game, so there's 3 total weapons, and there's magic and all this other stuff. Plenty of stuff to try out. The combo system's rewarding. I got like 111 hit combo once. It was badass. It's just really cool, really fun, really tight. That's what's important. Very tight. The buttons respond well, because sometimes with indie games, controls could be a little but this game responds perfectly. A lot of kudos to the guy who developed this. Really good job with that. Combat is a beast. And crazily enough, on the higher difficulties, enemies take longer to kill, so you get your combos up even higher, which makes it even more fun, but at the same time it's harder, so it's like a double-edged sword. But if you like combos, go for the higher modes, because sometimes the enemies die a little quick on the normal mode. The game features multiple heroes. You can choose. In the beginning right now, we have Wyatt and Reyna. I haven't tried out Reyna myself. I only beat the game with Wyatt. Wyatt is a close-quarters, sword-toting, that dude. He's that dude. He comes in and he hits you real hard. So you're going in here with 2 characters, and which basically adds to the replay value, and that's always good. You want to add to that replay value. The game's graphics, really sweet. I already talked about the animation. It's fluid. It's really good. Everything just animates well. Backgrounds are gorgeous. Just the art style in this game is it's nothing short of breathtaking. There's some parts like in the forest. There's a spot called the Abandoned Forest with really pretty backgrounds, and I was just like, whoa, that is sweet. And speaking of atmosphere, the game's music is really well done. Done by composer Zach Parrish. He's done a very good job with the music in this game. It all evokes the proper emotion. A lot of like strings and just orchestrated epic music. The game runs about, I'm going to say on your first playthrough, it took me personally about 13 hours to do everything I wanted to do in the game. Although some people might play a little faster, some people might even play slower. So you're definitely getting your bang for your buck here. Pretty long game, even if you only plan on playing it once. Although, if you plan on playing it once, I suggest you think again, because the game has skill trees and optional branching ways to play the game. There's a million and one reasons to go back and replay the game. Between finding bosses earlier or not killing certain bosses, just changing things up, finding your crew, trying out different skill trees, playing as different characters. There's a million and one reasons to go back and replay the game. Don't go in here thinking you can only play it once. I've already played through it twice, and I might play through it again. I probably will. I need a little break from it right now, but this is definitely a game that I'm going to go back to playing. And speaking of the stats and skill distribution systems, these are in play here. You're kind of like pre-Panda World of Warcraft. You got a skill tree, and you go down the tree, and based on which skills you pick, you can get different skills, and you can really mix and match and make very flavorful characters. Very in-depth, very cool system in place here. A lot of fun for you optimizers out there and stuff like that. Me, I love to make builds, so that's always a reason I go back to play games. Also, can't forget the stat distribution. There are a couple of different stats like strength, agility, luck, intelligence. I think those are all 4 of them actually. And you can increase those as you play the game, so you can really go in there and hone your build to what you want it to be. You could have a high strength character that only uses like heavy attacks and does massive damage. You could have like a high agility critical assassin type character that wields the dagger. You could have high intelligence magic using characters. All kinds of things. It's really robust. Now I'm going to jump into the things I'm not too crazy about. I already touched base quickly on the magic system. The reason I didn't talk about it in my pros is because it goes into my cons list. The magic system, as it stands, feels a bit clunky. You have to hold down a shoulder button and then press a direction to use a specific spell. And you can set all your spells in the magic menu, like there's 6 different elements, and you can use any of the 6 at any given time based on, like, let's say you want to have a light magic spell connected to your R plus up, and then you have a dark magic skill on your R plus down. There's tons of different combinations. However, I feel like it might be a little too versatile for its own good. I think the game would have benefited from a just like a quick magic button. Like, let's say instead of the shoulder button and a direction, you just hit B. You know, something like that. Like, let's say you're in the middle of a combo, and then you have to hold down the R button, or if you're using a keyboard, whatever button that is, you hold down the button and then you press the direction you need. It kind of breaks up the flow of combat. I never personally saw myself using magic in combat unless I was spamming a specific spell. I never mixed it up into my combos. But like, if you had, instead of the air, the forward, the up and the down choices, you get 4 choices for spells. Instead, just have like the B button do a quick spell, or have like running in B do a spell, and then jumping in B do a spell. You lose the down spell, but I think like if you could just quickly and seamlessly integrate magic into combat instead of having to hit that R button that locks the character into place. He takes this like spell casting stance and then casting the spell. It just really slows down the pace, and it kind of makes magic not as viable as the basic combos, because those combos come out way faster. So I think that's one thing that could definitely be worked on. I mean, regardless, the magic is still cool, but I just never saw myself integrating it with my combos, and it would have been a lot more fun if I was like slash slash toss a fireball slash slash slash, you know what I mean, something like that. So that's actually my biggest complaint about this game. The magic system should be less versatile and be just more honed in to be integrated with the combat. That would have made it really perfect. That's my biggest complaint. Now, my other complaint, not as big as the magic, because the magic feels like a lot of lost potential. There's a crafting system in place, and I just kind of feel like it's just tacked on, and it really bogs down the gameplay experience. Like, for example, you need to upgrade your sword. Oh, I gotta go grind these enemies to get the cloth or whatever you need to upgrade the sword, and that's a little annoying. If I had to make a suggestion, I would have made just literally one item upgrade a specific item. Like, let's say you have a certain sword and you need like mithril ore to upgrade that sword, and that's it, just one item. In my opinion, this would encourage exploration and make the chests that you find as you explore more weight to them, you know what I mean? Like, as it stands, like, oh, I found a piece of steel again. Like, I found tons of steel in chests, but like to say like, oh wow, what's this piece of ore? It's a mithril ore. I've never got that before. What could it be? And then you go to the blacksmith and you see they let you upgrade your sword. It's a lot more rewarding. You know what I mean? Like, to get that one item that lets you upgrade your weapon. That's my opinion, though. I personally don't like crafting in any of my games. Even MMOs, RPGs, I don't like crafting. I'm not a fan. I don't like that they're just so grind heavy and boring. And this game is no exception. It's very boring to grind. I don't like it. I hate it. So that's me. If you like grinding, then, you know, hey, you might like the crafting system. But me personally, my review, my opinion, I don't like crafting. I don't think it needs to be there. I think it slows down the pace of the game. And it discourages exploration, because if you could find steel in a chest, or if you could get steel off an enemy, aren't you just going to grind the enemy over and over again? Yes, you are. But if you can only get a special type of ore in a chest, you don't need to grind the enemy. You get the special ore in the chest. There you go. That's my opinion and my own criticism on how to make it better. I'm not going to criticize without giving my own opinion on how to make something better. And these at this point are just tiny little nitpicks. Tiny little nitpicks, because I feel like I have to say some kind of bad things, right? The storyline does what it needs to do. It gives the character a reason to fight. And that's it. That's all you need. For me, that's all I need. But if you're in here coming for a story, don't. Because it's just okay. It's not terrible. It's just okay. It does what it needs to do as an action game storyline. Also, I really feel like this game would have benefited from a respec system. So, like, let's say, for example, you screwed up one of your skills, you can go back and change it. Granted, I know you can go back and just play a new game, but sometimes you screw up, sometimes you hit the wrong button, and there's no way to change it. So, also, the stat distribution. Sometimes you screw up your stats. Like me personally, I played through the game, I never increased my luck, and then I learned at around level 18 that luck increases your chance to find items. I did not know that. If I knew that, I would have put points into luck, because as I already said, I hate grinding, so I like to have a high stat that will make sure I don't have to grind much. So that was a bit of a pain. My last complaint, actually this is a pretty big complaint too, the platforming sections could have definitely been a little tighter. Sometimes the character moves a bit too fast for his own good. I feel like a walk button would have been good. Like, let's say you hold down a shoulder button and it makes the character walk. Because when you jump, you jump, you know? But like when you walk, like there's a spell called Shadow Walk that allows you to do the walk animation, but I shouldn't have to cast a spell to walk to make the platforming sections a little easier. But that's just me. Anyway. So those are my complaints, those are my grievances, they're not very big. Overall, this is an awesome game, I had a lot of fun with it. So, Valdis Story Abyssal City, from Darksy Dex, you get an 8 out of 10. And you know, before you go, oh, it's an 8 out of 10? An 8 out of 10 is a big deal for me, okay? When I review games, I review them with the idea that 5 is the true average. I'm not like these game sites where the average is 7. 5 is the true average on my scale, so 8's pretty legit. Thank you guys for listening. I hope this was informative. If you want to get the game yourself, check it out on Desora or Gamersgate. I also believe they're going to be putting it on the Humble Store soon. And maybe they'll get greenlit. If you like the game, don't forget to greenlight it. And thank you so much for listening. And don't forget to check out my Let's Play of the game that's on my channel. I'll most likely put it in an annotation in this video as well. I'll see you guys next time. Eating the pudding!